Hated, adored, never ignored. It's a mantra that Manchester United fans love to bring out when it comes to any type of criticism when it comes to Manchester United. But it has been a time where the criticism seems to be a little bit unjust, and there are stats that can back up similar aspects to things that are occurring with other players within the league. Now, what I'm referring to here is the treatment of Benjamin Šeško. Now, Šeško has come in from the Bundesliga, which is a completely different league, and now I'm not saying the Bundesliga is a lesser league in a sense, but there have been instances where players have come from there and not succeeded when thrown straight into the fire. Sesko has been thrown in off the bench a number of times and actually started the last game against Chelsea and had to be brought off at half-time due to a red card to Casemiro. And there are a lot of critics on Sesko and his actual performances. But is he actually performing that badly? Or is it basically a adjustment to a much tougher league? Now, I've had a look at a few things in terms of a couple of players. The first person I referred to when looking at this situation was a very similar player to a similar player to Benjamin Šeško, and that is Nick Woltemade at Newcastle. Now, Woltemade came in the summer window, similar to Šeško. He was kind of like the next option up from Šeško, basically, and he's coming from Stuttgart. Same league, same situation. Forward, the whole shebang. Now, in terms of appearances, Šeško has 5 compared to Woltemade's 2, but the time or minutes they've played, there's only a 56 minute difference between the two. Šeško playing 205 and Woltemade playing at 149. The difference in their stats is that Woltemade has a goal, 1 goal, comparatively to Benjamin Šeško not having anything at all. And their stats are extremely similar. Šeško has a better expected goals XG. They're very similar in terms of shots being made. Touches in the opposition box are extremely similar, 8 to 9. And in terms of other kind of possession stats, passing very similar, 36 to Šeško and 27 to Woltemade. Everything along the line, if you look at them side by side, they are extremely similar. And I ring up Woltemade because he actually made an interesting comment about his move to Newcastle United. He said a couple of weeks ago, once he scored his first goal, the Premier League is quite hard. I had to go out because I had cramps. The first game, I think it's okay to come in. It was amazing for the atmosphere. The team played really good balls. They involved me a lot. I think I did quite good. I just tried to play my game. I like to drop off into the 9 and come where I can to get the balls. The guys are really good to stay with me, and I want to play my game also here. Obviously, his English isn't fantastic. Today was a good game for it, but there could be games where it is hard. I want to adapt to this league. It is very hard, and we look forward to and we keep going. Now, twice within that brief paragraph that I've just read out, he says that the Premier League is quite hard. We said it's quite hard, and it says it's really hard, and that he's having to adapt to this league. Now, Woltemade has had no criticism of his performances. I know he's only played 2 games, and has obviously scored a goal. But why has Šeško been given so much criticism? Maybe it's just a factor of he's moving to a new country, he's moving to a new league, which is a lot more intense, and he's also having to adapt to a new system and a new playing style with new players. This sort of adaptation period doesn't seem to be allowed within football nowadays. Players are seen to be going into teams and instantly having success. Now, it does happen. Erling Haaland is a prime example of that. Coming into a team and instantly having success. He was the highest goal scored for a league season in this first season. He has had a bit of a drop off, but maybe that's just due to the fact that defences are now working out a way to stop him a little bit more than he was in the first season. So it can happen, but there has also have to be an adaptation period and a transition period. where these players have the time to be able to adapt and be able to get better. Another player that's a very similar in a sense, coming over from the German league into the Premier League, and someone that's not had a lot of criticism at all, is Florian Wirtz. Now, Wirtz is obviously an attacking midfielder, so there's a bit of a difference between the two in terms of Woltemade and Sesko, and obviously Wirtz in his entirety. But he's also played 5 games. He's played over 150 minutes more. In fact, if I work it out, 162 minutes more than Šeško, and has no goals and no assists. Now, obviously, his possession passing stats are a lot higher than they would be for Šeško. Wirtz is an attacking midfielder, whereas Šeško is a forward. But I've not seen too much in the way of criticism for Florian Wirtz. Now, maybe that's because Liverpool are winning games and winning repeatedly, and United have had a bit of a rocky start. But if you look at the games that United have also played, they've both played Arsenal in terms of United and Liverpool. United have also played City and Chelsea, and to be fair, they've come away with 3 points from those games. Now, last season, I don't believe we came away with any points from any of those games. So that adaptation period, coupled that with what was seen as the hardest opening 5 games of a campaign for any team in the Premier League, there's obviously going to be a bit of a skew on Šeško's starts to the club. Now, I'm not ruling him out entirely because I see a lot of good things from Šeško. I see a lot of times where balls aren't being played into him in the right path. Maybe they're going over him to another player. Maybe they're not being played incorrectly. But I'm seeing a lot more movement on his side than I was with Rasmus Højlund last season. I think that Šeško will come good. I think he will be a lot better than Højlund was. Now, I get that Højlund has started fairly brightly at Napoli, but the Italian league is, again, another completely different league. These leagues are different in their entirety, and there is a lot more of a nuance between the three. So it's very difficult to compare between leagues. You can compare within a league a lot better because, as we've shown with the Woltemade and the Sesko comparison, they are very similar. They both come from the same league. They're both adapting to this new league, which is more high intensity, and quite frankly, the quality throughout is going to be a little bit better. With that, I have no worry with Šeško, but my worry is that the media that love to lambast United, and this is not me getting on a high horse and saying everyone is against United. This is what I'm just seeing in terms of a lot of criticism on Benjamin Šeško's part, and maybe more towards the kind of manager in terms of not playing him and not putting him into games. But he's now started the game against Chelsea. He did a fairly decent job. The flick on for Mbeumo to run on to that caused the red card for Robert Sanchez within 5 minutes of the game, that was obviously worked on. He did some good passing play. He was very good on ball, Šeško. I do think it was a shame that he had to come off, but someone had to, because you were not going to play a midfield 1 with Bruno Fernandes. It just wasn't going to happen. So it had to be one of the front 3, in my opinion, especially with them being two goals up. Šeško was sacrificed, and it is a shame that was the case. But I think going forward, we will be seeing more and more quality from Benjamin Šeško. I'm nowhere near at a point where I think he is a flop, and I'm worried that the UK media are going to see that a lot sooner than what will happen. I do think he'll hit a patch at times, possibly within the next couple of weeks. And obviously we've got the Liverpool game coming up after the international break, but other than that, there are some winnable games there. The Brentford game of the weekend, the Sunderland game of the week after. There's a good run coming up to Christmas as well. I think he can get goals, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hits double figures this season, because I'm seeing a lot of positive stuff. The striker aspect of Šeško that you're wanting to see. I have no worry about him right now. That may change, but right now I don't think he's a problem. I think the problem is that this weird bias against United and the players is showing one aspect when actually the team is playing fairly decently. There are outliers, the Grimsby game and the City game. they were bad. They played awful. But the rest, the Burnley game where they won 3-2, I think that there was a lot more goals in that game, and if they had put a lot more chances away that should have been put away, then you're looking at five goals, I'd say, probably a couple more than what they did score. I think the Arsenal game, they were very unlucky to lose that, and I think the Fulham game, they showed a bright first half. They were weaker in the second half, I will admit, and these sort of things do happen. It happened under Ferguson. It happened under every manager. So I have no too much of a worry in terms of what's happening going forward. It looks positive. It's just getting those results. That's the main thing. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about Benjamin Šeško as a forward for United and this odd bias that seems to be starting to occur as a narrative within the UK media. Like this video if you have, subscribe if you are new. Until next time, guys.